Hi, I'm Julia. I'm the officer for the Heart of England Community Rail Partnership. My main role is to make stations part of their communities and find out how the railways can support the areas they serve.
Hi, I'm Victoria and I'm the Security Manager for Chiltern Railways. My role is to make sure that we are compliant with the rules and regulations that have been set by the government. We have these rules to ensure that our staff and passengers are as safe as they can be when on the railway. Another part of my role is to work very closely with British Transport Police, or as we say in the rail, BTP. It's important that we work together to safeguard our customers and staff.
Part of this includes educating people on rail safety and ensuring that trains stay a safe and sustainable way of travelling for all.
Chiltern Railways and the Heart of England Community Rail Partnership have worked together to produce this rail safety video. The railway is a fantastic way to travel, but we must make sure we all stay safe when using the stations and on the trains.
We'd like to introduce you to Jude and Dilys, who are going to investigate how we can stay safe on the railways. Hi Jude and Dilys.
Hi.
Hi, and thanks Victoria and Julia. I'm Jude. And I'm Dilys. And we'd like to welcome you to our show, How to Keep On Track. All about keeping you safe when you travel on or near railway lines. We're going to be speaking to some very important people whose job it is to keep you safe at stations and when you travel by train. And we'll be finding out how you can help keep everybody and yourself safe. Oh, and from time to time, you might see and hear this on your screen. Train settings task time! That's the cue for your teachers to press pause and do the specially created train-related tasks with you. They're loads of fun. Okay, so let's call our first guest. Hi, could you tell us your name and what you do?
Hello children, my name is Richard Allen. I'm the Managing Director of Chiltern Railways. I'm delighted to be talking to you today about railway safety. Chiltern carries nearly 30 million customers every year, and the safety of our people, the people who work for Chiltern, and those customers who use the railway, and indeed neighbours of the railway who live on and around the railway, is really, really important to us. And your safety and the safety of you, your friends, your classmates and your family is really important to me and to everyone who works at Chiltern, because the railways are a vital public service, but they're also a big, fast-moving network, and there are many dangers of playing in and around the railways, as well as the benefits of using the trains and indeed the employment that we give to people up and down our network. I really want you to pay attention to the messages in this video. It's about explaining to you the benefits of the railway, the importance of staying safe on and around the railway. You're now going to hear from Lisa, who's one of my colleagues who works in our stations and leads our station teams on the northern part of our network. Please listen to Lisa. Please take safety really seriously. It's for your benefit. Keeping safe is important for you and your friends and your family. Thank you for listening, thank you for watching, and enjoy the video.
Thank you. So let's do that. Let's speak with Lisa.
Hi, I'm Lisa Mack and I work for Chiltern Railways. I'm an area manager, so that means I look after Solihull, Moore Street and Dorridge.
How do you expect your customers to behave when they are using your station?
We'd expect customers to behave politely and considerate to all of the customers and staff. Expect them to follow all the rules, to do the right thing. When they're on the platform, to stand beyond the yellow line, listen to announcements, and of course to always have a ticket.
What can children do to stay safe when using the station?
Children can always go and speak to a member of staff if they've got any worries or they're concerned on how they need to act on the station. Just stand beyond the yellow line, keep following all the instructions that have come over the tannoy, so they'll see there's no running, walking through the station, taking your time, looking around, being observant of what's going on, and just behave politely as you would anywhere else. If you guys or any children see any faults at the station, if you can approach a member of staff and tell them that something's broken, that would really help us to get it fixed and keep the station safe for you all.
What is the most dangerous thing you have seen happen on the railway?
So it's going back a few years, and it was at Wolverhampton station when I worked. There was a group of children on platform 2 and another child came in onto the concourse from platform number 1. saw his friends on platform 2 and promptly jumped down onto the track and tried to run across the track to get onto platform 2. And his friends just managed to lift him up just as a train pulled into the platform. That was really, really scary and very close.
Can I go on the tracks?
No, nobody's allowed on the tracks unless they've had the proper full training.
Thanks, Lisa. So, we've spoken to Richard Allen, the Managing Director, and Lisa about how to behave and stay safe at stations. Why don't we call up Mark? He's a train manager. I wonder if he had to do much training for that job. Let's see what he has to say.
My name is Mark Headley. I'm a senior train manager. That means I look after your safety on the trains.
What's the most dangerous thing you have seen happen on the railway?
Fortunately, I haven't witnessed anything unsafe whilst I've been out on duty, but I did see a horrific video of a freight train passing fast through a station and an empty pushchair being pulled towards it, and eventually it gets dragged under the train.
How do you keep safe when on the railway?
So I keep safe on the railway by maintaining the training that I got when I first started on the railway. I had 12 weeks where I had to learn about the signals, the traffic lights of the railway, all about the route and all about all the functions within the train. So I have to follow all the same rules that the passengers do. So I also get tested regularly to make sure that that knowledge hasn't gone away.
Can I go on the tracks?
You must never go on or near the tracks. Always treat it that a train will be coming any time.
Do I need a ticket?
Yes, so in order to travel on the railway, you must always have a ticket. I can ask where you're going and make sure that you're on the right train.
How should I behave when I'm on the train?
So when you're on our trains, we want you to look after each other and stay safe. We also want you to be considerate. So the other passengers around you, they may be travelling for different reasons. So they may just have finished work and need a rest. If you're going to play music, keep it low and keep it to yourselves. Keep your feet off the seats. Try and respect the train as if it's your own home or own property. And then that way, we can make sure that it's ready for the next person to board.
As a train manager, what things do you look out for to keep us safe?
So now we're looking out for you, we're looking out for the other passengers, and we're making sure that you're going to the right places. We'll be coming through to check your tickets, but not only that, we'll be there to help you on and off the trains. We'll be making announcements to tell you where you are and about the gaps that you might find between the train and the platform edge. We'll also be there to help passengers that may need a bit of an extra hand with ramps on and off the trains. You may also hear us use our whistle, and that's just to keep you back behind that yellow line and safe away from the moving trains.
Thank you, Mark. I'm starting to see why it's so important to follow the rules on trains now. Trains and things, task time! Why don't we call up Lisa to find out about how they keep safe on the tracks?
Hi, my name is Lisa Lewis and I'm a Community Safety Manager at Network Rail. Travelling by train is a great mode of transport to get where you need to go both quickly and safely. But the railway can be a really dangerous place if you're not following the rules. So it's my job to make sure people understand the real life dangers both on and near the railway to make sure they make the right choices to keep both them, their family and friends nice and safe.
What do Network Rail do?
At Network Rail, we own the train tracks. We have around 20,000 miles of track across the country that we go out and maintain and make sure it's nice and safe so the train operating companies can run their trains across them and carry their passengers nice and safely where they want to go every day. As well as looking after the train tracks, we also own and look after the bridges and tunnels. We have around 30,000 that we need to look after to make sure they're safe, both for rail users but road users as well. We also signal the trains. So signals are like the traffic lights for the railway, and they tell the train drivers when it's safe to go and when they need to stop to make sure all the trains can move around the network nice and safely. It's really important we do this with over 24,000 trains travelling over our network every day with millions of passengers and over 400,000 tonnes of freight.
What's the most dangerous thing you've seen happen on the railway?
So fortunately, I've never had to witness a serious incident on the railway, but they do happen. What I have seen is people behaving dangerously. It is not okay to take a shortcut across the railway, whatever anybody tells us. We understand peer pressure, we get that as grown-ups as well. But nobody can make you do something that you don't want to do. You are in control of your safety. If you need to cross over to the other side of the train tracks, then please use the bridge provided or walk the correct way round to the other side.
Do you have to wear safety clothes?
Absolutely. Anybody that goes onto the train track must be wearing PPE, which is personal protective equipment. You'll recognise people that are working on the railway because they'll be wearing an orange high-vis. You'll see that mine says Network Rail, and if you see somebody at a station wearing this orange, it's someone that is safe for you to approach to ask a question. Somebody going onto the track must be wearing safety boots, high-vis trousers, high-vis top, a hard hat, protective eyewear, protective earwear, gloves, all of this before they're allowed to put one toe near the railway. Everybody must make sure before they go onto the track that they're wearing what they need to keep them safe. So it's definitely not okay for someone to be on there in their school uniform or in their own clothes. Only people that work for Network Rail or people Network Rail have authorised are allowed to go onto the train tracks. Even the fire service, police service and the ambulance service in an emergency can't go on the tracks without our permission. There's lots of things we need to do to make it safe first. Even people that work for Network Rail must have lots of training first before they're allowed to go anywhere near the train tracks. And even after they have had that training, still need to be accompanied. And it's still dangerous for us, but we understand the dangers and we understand how to keep ourselves safe. So it's really, really important that nobody goes onto the train tracks unless they have permission to do so. A lot of our railway is surrounded by electricity. The overhead lines carry 25,000 volts of electricity. The power supply in your home or school is just under 250. That's 25,000. That's over 100 times more powerful. And that electricity is turned on all the time. We never ever switch it off. As well as the overhead lines, there's also electricity in third rail on the tracks, our signalling location cases at the side of the tracks, which are the boxes that have all the wires for our signals, and also underneath the ground. So never ever go onto the tracks. As well as that, if you are playing football or any ball games in a field near the railway, please be mindful. And if a ball does go over the fence and lands on the tracks, or if you're on a platform and drop something, you must never, ever go and retrieve it. Please go and report it to a member of staff at the station, or you can text the British Transport Police on 61016. In an emergency, you would always use 999.
The first time you went on the tracks, were you scared?
It's always scary to go onto the train tracks, however much experience we have. But as I mentioned before, we understand the dangers and how to keep ourselves safe. The most scary thing for me was realising just how big the trains really are. When you stand on a platform, you tend to not see the bottom half of the train. But when you're standing next to it, you realise they're huge. These trains weigh up to 400 tonnes. That's the weight of 80 elephants, and they can travel up to 125 miles per hour. So it's really, really important that no one gets in their way. A level crossing is the only place where you're allowed to cross over the railway. There are two main types of crossing, a pedestrian crossing, which are used for people that are walking, or a vehicle crossing. But these can all look very different depending where they are. The one thing they have in common is that there will always be signage that tell you what to do to use that level crossing safely. You must always stop, look and listen before you step out to cross. If you're in a group with friends, always cross over in single file and never let somebody else be letting you know when it's safe to cross. You are in control of your safety, nobody else.
Are there any times people use the tracks?
A level crossing is the only place where you're allowed to cross over the railway. Anywhere else is trespass, and that is against the law. There are two main types of level crossing, a foot crossing and a vehicle crossing, but these can all look very different depending on where they are. Some have gates and some have barriers, but all have signage that will tell you what you need to do to use that crossing safely. We must always stop, look and listen before we step out to cross. Never let anybody else look out for you. You are in control of your safety. It's important not to have any distractions, so please take your headphones out, put your phones in your pocket and stop chatting with your friends. Get off your bike or your scooter and walk across sensibly in single file. If you have your dog with you, please make sure they are always on a lead. It's everybody that we want to keep safe at our crossings.
Thank you, Lisa. Trains and things task time. Wow, so many dangers and lots of things to remember. Yes, and not only can you get hurt, but you can get into trouble too. Why don't we ask PC Lowe from the British Transport Police to see what he has to say?
Hi, I'm PC Lowe and I'm based at Coventry for the British Transport Police, and I'm a response officer and I've been with the force for nearly 2 years now.
How do you keep the railway safe?
We keep the railway safe by being out there. We travel the trains and we patrol our stations. Some of our officers are in plain clothes, which means they're not wearing uniform, and some of us are wearing uniform. We are here to keep people who travel on the train safe and also the workers of stations safe. We look after stations, trains, tracks, and also where the trains are kept at night. We have over 150,000 CCTV cameras across the network, and that's all to keep people very, very safe.
Can I get in trouble for not having a ticket?
Everybody who uses the railway network must have a ticket. If you need help, then you can speak to a police officer or another member of staff within the station. Do not go anywhere you shouldn't. Stick to platforms and proper crossings. Do not take shortcuts across anywhere, any tracks, or anywhere where it's not clearly marked. For older children, you could get arrested.
Do you have to wear safety clothes?
Police officers and staff have safety clothes, and that allows us to do our job properly and safely. Police officers have things as cameras and radios. That helps to keep us safe and to keep you safe. Police officers also go through a lot of safety training, and that will allow us to go onto the tracks when we need to and cross the tracks.
Can I go on the tracks?
Please do not go on the tracks or anywhere near the tracks, as you do not have the relevant training or the correct clothing. Railway stations can be dangerous places if not used safely and correctly. A train weighs over 100 tonnes and can travel up to 125 miles an hour. Mostly they are very quiet and can run pretty silently. Make sure you stay away from the platform edge and do not go on the tracks for any reason. Secondly, a lot of our trains are powered by electricity. The electricity runs in overhead cables and on the tracks. The electricity running through these cables are 25,000 volts, which is 100 times greater than what goes into your home. Trains run day and night, bank holidays, Christmas. So do not presume because it is night there are no trains coming and the electricity is turned off. Level crossings are dangerous places when not used correctly. Make sure you cross safely and quickly. Make sure you look, listen, and take out any earpods so you can hear if trains are approaching. If the gates are closing, do not cross. Only cross when the gates are open and it is safe to do so.
If I need help, what should I do?
If you need help whilst you're on a train or in a station, you can speak to any member of staff that is wearing a uniform. You can also speak to a police officer. We will be able to help you. Alternatively, you can text us. The number is 61016 and we will get back to you and provide the help that you need.
We've learned lots of things about keeping safe on the railway networks today. We hope you have too. I think we should go now to Julia and Victoria to hear what they have to say.
Thank you, Dilys and Jude, for helping us stay on track. If you're at a station or on a train and have any questions or think you've spotted something dangerous, then please come and talk to a member of staff or the British Transport Police.
Yes, this is so important that we've just received this message from Superintendent Sue Peters. She's a senior manager within the BTP and she has something really important to share with you.
Hello, my name is Sue Peters. I'm a superintendent in the British Transport Police. I work in Birmingham, but I cover a large geographical area of the Midlands, the West Midlands and the East Midlands. As you can see from this video, the railway can be a really exciting place to travel. Now, whether that be for school, visiting somewhere new, or just travelling out with your friends. It's the job of everyone who works on the railway to help you get to your destination safely. It's really important to me, and hopefully it's really important to you that you get home safely every day. Children, I'm asking for your help. So when you're on the station, please stay on the platform. And when you're on the trains, please behave. Help us to help you stay safe on the railway. Thank you.
We want to say a huge thank you to Richard Allen, Superintendent Sue Peters, Lisa Mack, Mark Headley, Lisa Lewis and PC Lowe, and you for being part of our rail safety video.
We hope you have enjoyed the video and activities as much as we have.
It is really important that we all play a part in safety, whether at home, in school, but especially on the railway. Have a good day. Bye.